Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing through from Spirit for you. Ashe. I heard go with the flow. Go with the flow. You've ensured that your flow is divine and that you're divinely aligned, so now you can flow. You don't have to resist. You can just be, and you will always be great. There's no need to criticize yourself. Where you are and what you do is beautiful. Yeah. Thank you, Spirit. We're starting with the Crow deck. You might hear some noise. There's some kids outside playing basketball. So I hope that you'll find some time to play too. Some time to be completely lighthearted and free and just do something that you love to do, something that you enjoy, that raises your vibe. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. What's coming through for this beautiful being? Isolation. Isolation brings awareness. It feels like winter. Isolation feels like a cold winter, but it brings awareness, because in those times where we're isolated, we have no other choice but to go within. There's somebody who wanted to make sure that they had enough and that they would always have enough. You know, the two look very, like, I've never seen these two cards together and in this light, but it feels actually very positive, because there's somebody who was in isolation, but they used that time to store, to ensure that, like, store up goods, store up energy to make sure that they would be good for a later time. Kind of like how hibernating animals get ready for the winter, right? Yeah. Storing things away, making sure they're good, ensuring that they have enough energy to last through the winter. Yeah. Oh, Delilah. Yeah, there's something here about the animal spirits and how they prepare for a time spent alone and in quiet and in solitude. Tell us more, Spirit. This has brought on anger because you were prepared. Yeah, you were prepared for a time spent in isolation. Like, you were good. Somebody was very angry about that. The hope was that time you spent alone was going to create wrath or anger within you, but you used it wisely. That's what this is about. It's like, if you were left alone, or if someone sort of parted ways or isolated you or tried to make you feel like you weren't included, you shifted gears. You were like, okay, well, how can I make this time useful? What can I do? You didn't sit around angry. You know what I'm thinking about is Frida Kahlo, one of my favorite artists of all time. Mexican artist, painter, amazing being. But she had a terrible accident on a bus, or like a trolley bus. I think when she was 14 or 15. And this is for if you don't know about her. But anyway, she was injured, terribly injured. And she had to have multiple surgeries and had to wear body braces and back braces and things throughout her life. But she made this quote, and it was something, I'm paraphrasing, but she was saying that even through all my injuries and my time of being bedridden, as long as I have art, as long as I can paint, I'll be okay. And I love that about her. Okay, I'm not gonna cry. But it brings through like that resilience and that magic that we can have when we appreciate the simple things, or the fact that we can still do our purpose, even though she wasn't in some studio that she had set up and then going outside for breaks. I mean, she was in her bed recovering from this accident, this tragic accident that she experienced at a young age. But she found the beauty of still being able to lie down in bed but still do what she loved. And there's something about that you were able to do. You did. You made the isolation useful for you. You nurtured your energy during that time. You may have discovered something about yourself, or about something that you love to do, or about a gift that you hadn't tapped into, and you took it far. You explored it on a deep level. The fact that you did that, the fact that you turned around a situation that was meant to make you feel mad, and you used it to make yourself happy, or to give yourself good energy, to generate good energy within your world, somebody's really angry about that. Let them be angry. That's their problem. That's their problem. That has really nothing to do with you. Yeah, there's something you're letting go of, maybe an expectation, or maybe trying to change a situation. You're just like, oh, I'm gonna let go. I have no attachments here. And that's when the magic happens. Because as she's letting go, those butterflies are there. She, he, whoever, they. Thank you, Spirit. What else? Yeah. You made your little grove, your little area just for yourself to heal in. You were like, well, if I'm going to be isolated, I'm not going to be isolated from my spirits. I might be isolated from the people who wanted to leave me here, or the person who wanted to leave me here, or the person who didn't want to include me, or the people, or whatever. But it's like in that seclusion, you found a whole other level of support in your spirits. There could be a pet or familiar that you connected with on a deep level. And this has helped you develop your sense of individuality. In a way, you became the most beautiful, divine rebel. Because in this experience, you found the magic within you. And you realized how wonderful it is to not feel like you have to be like everybody else, or you don't have to fit in. It's like you became okay with not fitting in. You became okay with not being included. Yes, you became loyal to your practice of meditation. You became loyal to a spiritual practice, 10-10 on the timer. You may have developed a routine that without this seclusion, you would not have had time to do or to implement in your world. And you discovered a lot of things around you that are beautiful that had nothing to do with humans. I mean, you know, maybe you went to a museum and loved something that was created by another human, but I'm talking about regarding interaction with other humans. You went deeper than that. You went within yourself. My right ear is ringing. The amount of growth that you have achieved during this time is outstanding. I see 2 lotus flowers here, so there could be someone that has joined you on your path here of going within self. You see these 2 lotus flowers? And you know, lotus flowers, they bloom in the mud. So whatever mud this isolation brought, okay, so the way that came out, whatever mud this isolation brought. So here's the thing. It's very possible that when you were in this time of deep meditation, you realized some things that you wanted to heal, that you wanted to work on. And you did. And you may have done this with another being. But if this resonates with you, more than likely it's someone that you have a very deep connection with. It could be someone that you worked with in order to heal. So it could be a healer or an intuitive, or it could be someone that you have a very deep bond with. 1 2 2 2 on the timer. So I'm definitely getting that energy that during this time of isolation, you went from just the self to some sort of union or bond with another being. But what I like is that the isolation came first, because it feels like whatever was there needed to be wiped out. So the isolation was actually a blessing. It got you to focus on you and to align with a blessing that was on its way to you, or perhaps that was already there, but healing came in. Okay? But there's some kind of really beautiful blessing that occurred during this isolation that brought about a deep bond or union. Oh, I love that. So you went from feeling fragmented to feeling strong. This experience, and if you're still within this stage of isolation, it doesn't feel like isolation anymore though. It feels like union, but divinely aligned union. But this stage now brings strength. Whereas before there was some fragmentation. You've healed aspects of your soul and of your mind that had been, I'm hearing that they became tired. I feel like your soul was tired because you'd been through so much. It almost needed this isolation. So you know what? I'm getting that this was divinely aligned. This was something that your soul knew would create abundance for you, even though at the time it may have felt difficult and like a dim period of your life. It actually has brought forth the frequency of life and abundance. It's allowed for pure honesty. There were some areas in which you wanted to be honest with yourself, but life had not been quiet enough for you to become this honest with yourself. There was always too much going on. Too many people, perhaps some aspect of a job was too noisy or too present in your life, too much at the forefront of your mind. It was hogging your mental power. It was time for you to dedicate your mind to other things, healing within, that led to healing energy that you have experienced or are experiencing or about to experience, depending on if this is past, present, or future for you, with another being. This is beautiful. Hold on one second. I got a call. Sorry for the pause. But I'm glad it happened, because it came to me that as you were in this stage of isolation, there's something about your fire, your passion, your creative energy that has become more intense. And that is one of the aspects of this entire process that will always remain with you. Always, no matter what. Even into the afterlife. You will always have that intensity with which you can create life, if you choose to create life, create art, music, poetry, whatever it is that you're inspired to create. I think it's interesting that Frida Kahlo came through, because she was such an amazing artist. So for some of you that applies. And you know, she's loved by so many people all around the world. Not just in her home country. So there's something important about that. There's something very relevant about that. There's something that you're doing or working on, or that you're inspired to do, that will reach a lot of people. And I'm hearing not just a lot of people in numbers, but a lot of different types of people. There's an appeal that you have, and that what you create has. And the energy of your creations, it doesn't know any bounds of race, religion, ethnicity, countries. It doesn't matter. It's about the human experience as well as the spiritual experience. 2:22 on the timer, but I had to restart it, so you're not going to see 2:22 on the timer, but I'm seeing it. Oh my God. Yeah, when I took that call, it didn't pause. It started over. So that's significant too. This phase of your life has given you a chance to start something over. It's like an intention that's not new, but you're looking at it through a different lens, from a different perspective. Let me get some more about that. Divine, how has their perspective changed about what they're doing or about life? How has their perspective changed? What can you tell us about this, Spirit? The Fool. You're looking at something with innocence, without attachments. Without expectations. You're just like, hey, let's go. Let's enjoy. Let's do it. I'm seeing like this excitement. It's like a bubbling energy. I just gazed at my Pluto poster because something ended. And it's right next to Saturn, so this was about a karmic experience. What ended, Divine? Okay, we've got Eight of Wands, Eight of Wands. Maybe the pressure to do something quickly. The pressure to rush. Because, you know, Eight of Wands is a very quick energy. Also, what you focus on has changed. You're focusing on truth. Look, we've got Ace of Swords and honesty here. 4:44 on the timer. I know you're not seeing 4:44, but I am. Ashe, thank you, Spirit. Look, you're living in truth and honesty. Wow. And this is, it's not like to say that you were living in lies before, but it's just like Spirit was like, you can go deeper. You can become clearer about the reason why you're here. And we're willing to go within and see truth and feel the truth and vibe with the truth. It really does bring us to a place of balance, alignment, harmony, and honesty. And truth, divine truth. Yeah. Okay. Pulling from this deck. Thank you, Spirit. What else can you share with us? What do you want this beautiful being to know? The Sun. The Sun is on the fence. The Seeker. Ascension. You know what I feel like why the Sun is on the fence is because sometimes you're in Sun energy, sometimes you're in Moon energy. Sometimes you're moving towards doing, thriving, creating, and sometimes you're just being. Sometimes you're just like, look, so this isn't a moon card. I don't know if there is. There might be a moon card in this deck, but look, it looks like a moon card. Sometimes you're in your Sun energy, sometimes you're in your Moon energy. And I love that even though this for me is representing the Moon energy, it says the Seeker. So the reason why you're experiencing abundance and you're aligned with prosperity is because you are willing to say, I don't have to do the most right now. I don't have to go anywhere right now. I don't have to push right now. I can just be. And I know that there is awareness that comes in just being. It's like you've gained a deeper level of comfort in understanding your subconscious mind and exploring it. Getting to know those parts of you that in all this doing and being and pushing and active manifestation, because manifestation can look more like Sun energy or Moon energy. It depends on whether you're actively creating something, working, or if you're just kind of like letting it come to you. And I like a balance of both because that's why we have Sun and Moon. We have the day and the night. We need both. But there's something about what this isolation has done that it balanced your doing energy. so that you realize you don't always have to do, you can just be. And you're realizing that you can manifest in a state of flow as well. For some of you, you could be releasing workaholic tendencies, or a way of thinking about yourself that's super critical. Just always going. You're allowing yourself to slow down, but in a very divine way, so that you're able to tune in to all the divine frequencies that are trying to tune in to you. You're aware of what's going on within. So this has balanced your sun and moon energy. Oh, Spirit, I love it. Yes. Okay, so I'm looking here at these. I've got this indigo. Why do I want to say indigo? Maybe that's somebody's name, indigo. You might love the color indigo, but lapis lazuli and rose quartz. I don't usually show my crystals a lot unless I feel called to, but I do. Okay, rose quartz and lapis lazuli, those are coming through. And you know, lapis lazuli, I use this one all the time. I love it. I love the color of this one. Something about you going darker, like deeper. Because I said indigo here, but look at the color difference between the two. This one is darker. Something about you getting more in depth, going deeper. I'm thinking like when you go into the ocean, like at the top it looks, you know, you can see, but as you go deeper and deeper, there's less and less light. But there's beauty there too. It's like you're discovering deeper aspects of yourself. So lapis, I keep saying indigo. Indigo is important for somebody. You might use indigo dye. I don't know if people still use indigo to actually dye, like the actual indigo, but lapis lazuli is the stone of truth. So this is all about living truly the way that you're meant to, in abundance, in a constant state of healing, but not forcing it to happen, just allowing that healing energy to flow to you and being willing to discover the healing that's already within you, deep inside you, through your ancestral connections, through your connections with spirit allies, the archangels, whoever it is you work with, and also realizing that those energies are within you. As above, so within. Or as above, so below. As within, so without. So, yeah, there may have been some doubt of that before. Like the way I said it, it was like, So maybe you doubted before, like if you had access to these energies. But this time that you've spent, it's allowed you to get to know these energies up close and personal, where you're like, oh, I don't doubt at all. So that's a part of this truth as well, is knowing who you really are and realizing that, yes, the universe truly is inside you. And whether you work with archangels, ancestors, gods, goddesses, whoever, you realize that ultimately they all dwell within you. And it was just about being willing to get to know those energies. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit. What is ahead for this beautiful being on their path? Okay, so we've got intuition. I definitely see that, because there's no way that your intuition cannot be on point after all you've been through and all you've done. And after doing this work and being as dedicated to it as you are, I know your intuition is lit. And the thing is that I feel like you're listening to it. It's one thing to get an intuitive hit or download. It's another thing to recognize that point where, okay, I've got the intuitive download, but then the mind comes in with a thought like, wait a minute, maybe you should do this because remember when this happened? So after intuitive guidance, then we get the mental, like, little distraction. That's really what it is. It's a distraction. And it's looking out for us. It's trying to save us from a hassle that we went through before. But it's like, now. Do you really think you ought to do that? Because remember when 5 years ago this happened? So that's when we have to recognize that that is just a thought that's distracting us because it thinks that it knows the way, but truly our intuition knows truth. And then we say consciously, I understand that my mind is looking out for me here, but I'm going with my intuition because it knows best, you know? All right, what else is coming through for this beautiful being? Discovery. This was in the reverse. So there's something that was blocked prior. It says, discover the treasures within, follow your passion. There's something that was blocked prior about you acknowledging the treasures within, but you've opened up to that. Now it could be in the reverse because maybe, yes, I know that you've discovered these treasures. Are you also believing that you can follow your passion? Maybe there was some self-doubt, okay, but you're releasing that. You're releasing whatever blockages stood between you and your self-awareness, and then you moving forward with that awareness to follow your passion. You're releasing whatever blockages were there. And you're doing that through self-love, by being gentle with yourself, by being patient with yourself. When, yes, you could push, and you could get back into the tizzy of, I gotta do, I gotta go, I gotta say, I gotta write, I gotta do it. Let me just be. And think about what, or feel what it is that I want to do right now. Or sense what it is that I want to do. Or I had that dream last night. Yeah, let me do this. You know, allowing your true inner self to guide you. Ashe. Thank you, Spirit, for these messages. I am so grateful, and thank you, beautiful beings, so much. Oh, thank you so much for taking the time to tune in. I hope these messages brought through some clarity, some insight, some good vibes, and I love you. And I wish you peace. I wish you joy and so many blessings. Take care.